AEW added main event level talent to their roster in March of 2024. A roster that already featured Swerve Strickland, Adam Copeland, FTR, and current champion Samoa Joe would now also contain names known all over the world: Will Ospreay, Kazuchika Okada, and Mercedes Moné. In this video, we will look at the highest rated matches that aired on AEW Dynamite between March and April of 2024. If you enjoy this video, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring the bell to be notified when new videos drop. These were the top 10 best matches on AEW Dynamite 2024. Number 10.
The match was basically a singles match for a good portion of the match, with Julia interfering when the ref was distracted. Brody and Adam have some good chemistry. Adam is exceptional at being the underdog when he gets a chance to play that role. Willow finally came in, but she was too injured, so ended up passing out. Not just randomly, she got put in a submission by Julia Hart, but you get the idea. Yeah, I thought this match was great, and I thought it was a cool opportunity for Adam Copeland to play the underdog. He was struggling against Brody King, and I thought that was really cool to see, and the audience got behind him even more. That's how you do the babyface thing, guys. That's how it works out. Like, I like to see Adam Copeland get run over a bit before he comes back. I think that's really fun. It was a really good singles match between Adam Copeland and Brody King. If they would have built it that way, it wouldn't have had such a low rating.
Number 9.
Call me a Wardlow apologist, but this was really good. More tightly paced and action-packed than their last two single matches, albeit without much of a build or story to them. And yet Joe was super over, so it had the heat and meat chants. I really enjoyed the strike exchanges here and the headbutts, and I actually like that somebody finally scouted Joe's nope, particularly someone with a similar style rather than someone that goes off the top rope more often. Just a lot of really solid exchanges that kept me interested with a really simple, effective finish. I expect a lot of people to be mild on this, so I'll be the guy going to bat for it. And I appreciate you, sir, and I think this was a good match.
Number 8.
Penta was absolutely on fucking fire in this match. A lot of people I saw, in the comments on the internet were thinking that Penta had a real shot to win the title here, and that's what was great about this. Kind of knew Adam was going to retain this, and I hope he keeps putting on bangers like this. This reminds me of Orange Cassidy's run at the start, where he would just come out, open the show, put on a fucking banger match, and just blow the crowd away to set the tone for the show. I absolutely love this match. I thought it was great.
Number 7.
Love the Young Bucks offense here. They looked insanely dangerous. The Falcon Arrow off the barricade, the guillotine leg drop, the power bomb on the apron. It all looked devastating, like the Bucks are a power wrestling team. Started to go off the rails with the bell and the belt, and then the botch finish completely ruined the overall output. And man, guys, you are really soft if the little bit of slip up on the finish there entirely destroyed your enjoyment of this match. I actually find it quite odd how lowly rated this match is, especially with all the callbacks to the first matchup between the Young Bucks and Private Party on AEW TV during the first tournament, which was, I gotta say, if we're being honest, a better match. And I think a lot of it, though, is the vibe of that match. Like, it's going to be hard to recapture that feeling of Private Party coming into the company, being a new team, going up against the Young Bucks and pulling off this huge upset. Plus, you just got to keep in mind, Young Bucks back in 2018 were the most over thing in wrestling, right? These guys were loved by the audience. And in 2019, they still had it. People were really behind the Young Bucks. They were more of a face tag team, and Private Party was as well. So we had a face versus face matchup back in 2019, and now in 2024, we have kind of a heel versus heel thing. And it's kind of confusing too, because Private Party, are they face, are they heel? I think it would have been better if leading up to this, Private Party would have just been straight face. But they had a few fucky finishes with Top Flight, and, you know, they're arrogant, right? Which I like. I like Private Party. We can all agree the big spots were great. The Falcon Arrow off the barricade. Oh my God. Private Party hitting more bang for your buck was really, really cool. Especially since the Bucks weren't able to do it themselves in this match or in the first match. So seeing Private Party land that was really, really cool. Silly String off of the barricade. Super fun. A lot of great spots here. I just didn't like the pacing of the match. The thing that really made the first match up, I went back and watched it, by the way. Before I watched this match, I went back and I watched the original match from 2019. And the main difference between that match and this match was the pacing. The pacing of Private Party and the Young Bucks back in 2019 was breakneck speed. And when it wasn't going at 100 miles per hour, they were doing some really good in-ring work, some really good drama. The hot tag, right? Isaiah taking the powerbomb on the ramp, being devastated out. Quinn is abandoned inside the ring, and he has to fight for his life until Isaiah is able to come up. The hot tag happens. The offense goes down. Jen and Juice is hit. I mean, it was just way more exciting back in 2019, the pacing of that match. The Young Bucks went for the ring bell, missed the ring bell. Private Party grabbed the championship belt and hit him with the championship belt. That's fucking it, guys. Can you please understand the meaning of words when you use words? Overbooked means overbooked. Having a couple of spots in a match is not overbooked. If you want to see overbooked, go look at that match between Jay White and MJF. That's overbooked. Oh my God, I can't even count all of the weird spots in that match and outside interference and the beginning of the match when it wasn't clear if MJF was injured or not. And oh my God, like, look, I could go on about that for like a day. That's overbooked. This was booked slightly. I don't know, man. It didn't really take me out of it at all. I thought it was absolutely fine for the Young Bucks to try to cheat and absolutely fine for Private Party to retaliate cheat.
Number 6.
Holy moly, can we please push Powerhouse Hobbs some more? This was a great match to kick off Dynamite, and I really can't complain too much here. Ospreay was getting outpowered, and Hobbs showed he can hang with Ospreay in the ring. Some great counters, and Don Callis actually doing a good job on commentary. Also, the slight post-match angle was also really good. Ospreay continues to go after Danielson, and Danielson interrupting Ospreay's exit was also a nice touch. It was a very good match. 9 out of 10.
Number 5.
What a hidden gem in the middle of a crowded show. Tight, focused, and a brilliant showcase for both wrestlers. It was refreshing to see Jay White return to his cerebral dismantling style that made him stand out in New Japan. And Darby Allin, who was legitimately bandaged and bruised, still launched himself into insane bumps in a compelling underdog performance. It was visceral and thrilling, and every bump was felt. Really great match between these two. This match really showcased the best of Jay White once again, and Darby made everything look great as he always does. Love the finish where Darby beat the count out and immediately was caught in the Blade Runner. And guys, this might be my match of the year right now. I could call it early. Like, this is it. Jay White versus Darby Allin is like what I'm all about. Two of my favorite wrestlers in AEW in a fantastic match with tons of story and development. Not just what happens in the match, which is nuts. Darby is bumping off the stairs. Darby is bumping off of Jay White. Darby's bumping off everything. Darby takes an apron bump that is one of the sickest looking bumps, had me legitimately convinced that he was going to get counted out of the ring, only to slide back into the ring and take a fucking Blade Runner and eat the pin for the 1-2-3, which we knew was coming, right? We knew Darby is headed up to Mount Everest, which I don't know if that's advisable, but off he goes. And on the send-off, not only is he being Pillmanized, he Pillmanized himself on the apron. Not only is he being Pillmanized that way, but they actually legitimately Pillmanize with him with the chair and a baseball bat to the ankle. Like, oh my God, Darby, we get it, dude. You're going to be out for a while. Like, okay, guy, you sold it.
Number 4.
Fans unfamiliar with Shibata will not know this, but what seemed like a more tame Ospreay match was actually asking so unreasonably much of Shibata given his injury history and, more importantly, just how confined his performances have been since returning. This was pretty much as unshackled as can be. The crowd was completely interested in Ospreay, meaning that Shibata had to facilitate, which he did almost flawlessly. The boring stuff just looked so good with Shibata. The bigger bumps and strikes he took were amazing too. Enjoyed it more than others will have. What this reviewer was saying, and what you can tell on this is, Shibata had a career-ending injury, and he has returned. And so you are never going to see, Will Ospreay on 10 against Shibata because he's not able to do as much as he could do before the injury. That being said, I thought the slower pace that Will was working here, the grapple submissions, I love the story that was told with the submissions on Shibata. I thought Shibata looked really strong here. It was interesting to see Shibata kind of work heel because Ospreay is so over with the audience. Shibata was doing playing more the heel role in this, which we haven't really seen from him in AEW. He's kind of been this legendary hero kind of status. Stoic and all that kind of stuff. So it was cool to see that happen. I thought it was a great match. Will Ospreay still did some amazing acrobatic moves in here, but I like the counters that Shibata would take when Will would come in with one of his acrobatic moves and Shibata would just catch him in midair, bring him down to a submission. I thought it was a really cool match. It was cool to see Ospreay work on a different level. I think that's what's really going to be fun with Ospreay and AEW is seeing the mix of styles as he interacts with various members of the roster. Even the bad reviews of this match were actually good reviews. Nobody really had anything bad to say about it. I would give it like a 3 out of 5. It's basically just because it was a slower paced match at the start of the show. It didn't really have that main event feel. I feel like AEW fans, we don't really have the history with Shibata that people who have been following New Japan Pro Wrestling would have. So we're kind of missing out on that, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't go back and check that out. I like the highlights that they played before the match of the previous match that Will Ospreay had with Shibata when Shibata won. So we're telling a story here about Ospreay. He's going to eat through the entire roster. He's going to beat everybody. I don't know when Ospreay's going to take his first loss, but it's going to be a long time from now.
Number 3.
I expected way better from both wrestlers. I thought the hockey shirt spots were dumb, and the women's bathroom spot was dumber. I thought the match should have been 15 minutes max. It didn't need to be 25, and the finish could have been booked better. This fucking guy hates fun. Listen to this shit. I can't believe it. I love this match. I went in here and I did not want to give this the match of the year rating. I did not, right? I saw the high rating on it, and I said, man, I bet Canadians are going to give this thing 11 just because Adam Copeland comes out dressed like the Toronto Kid.
Aren't you kind of a long way from your sexist football coaches, your polluted Ohio River, and your third-rate mass transit system, Cincinnati Kid?
And I was just saying the other week that AEW needs more Kids in the Hall references, and no shit, Adam Copeland is the Toronto Kid. The fucking coat says Toronto on the back. He's in the blue and white. The other reference was Luther keeps doing the head cruncher.
You're boring me. I'm cutting your head. I'm cutting your head.
I don't know what's next. Maybe the chicken lady?
Are you Big Bird?
No, but I want to meet him because the bearded lady says they call him Big Bird because he's got a really big...
Shut up!
If they're going to do anything, maybe they'll do Cancer Boy. Just hear me out, guys. I know Cancer Boy's a little out there, but MJF and Cancer Boy, it's a perfect fit.
Hey, Joe, would Joe hit a home run for me today?
Sure, kid.
Kids in the Hall spots aside, I thought, yes, I'll agree that the hockey jerseys were kind of a bit much. But it's crowd pleasing, right? They're very much playing to the live audience with that. But yeah, getting the jerseys, those guys were obviously planted in the audience. You're not supposed to take that stuff seriously. although you are kind of trying to take this match seriously, but like also at the same time wrestling, right, guys? At one point we did have a chant of Canadian shit, which I thought was really funny. Now we have cowboy shit. Now we have Canadian shit. Once again, Mother Wayne coming through every time. I don't know what it is about Mother Wayne and hitting nut shots on Adam Copeland, but every single fucking time she does it, I start yelling. I get out of my seat. It's exciting. I don't know, man. Mother Wayne, she had a Pentagon moment. Mother Wayne takes the glove off like she's Penta. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like, this woman is like one of the best performers that AEW has, and she's literally someone's mom. If you are watching this and you don't crack the fuck up when Christian Cage literally runs into the women's bathroom to avoid a beatdown from Adam Copeland, then you are just like allergic to good times. I don't know what to tell you if you're watching that like, this is taking me out of the reality of professional wrestling. Like, oh my fucking God. That's hilarious. It was a great spot. I loved all the goofy shit. I thought it was cool. But at the first half of the match, granted, I was watching it and I was like, this is maybe a 4 out of 5. These spots are a bit excessive. This is overacting, you know, they're playing to the crowd. Canadians would love this, but not Americans. You know, I was in that kind of mode. I was being a little sour, but shit, man. As this thing ramps up, as it gets going, Christian takes over. He starts getting in his offense. He has his hope spot. He's choking out Edge with the hockey stick, and Edge is about, or Adam Copeland, you know, he's about to give up, and it's getting really intense. And god damn, I wish Nigel was on commentary, because he could have helped make sense out of the fact, why did Christian stop choking Edge? Stop choking Adam with the hockey stick. Why would you stop doing that? You had him in the worst spot he could possibly be in, but he stops that. He goes for a concerto. He misses the concerto. The tide turns. Christian's goons come out. His children, Killswitch comes out, and Nick Wayne comes out, and the tide starts turning, and oh, it looks really bad for Adam, and everything's really bad, but no, Daddy Magic and Daniel Garcia come to save the day, and they have handcuffs. Fuck, Daniel Garcia has handcuffs, and they handcuff everybody to the ring post. Fucking incredible. Now, I've never seen stuff like this before. We're getting way over the fucking top, and Spike comes out. Fucking Spike, like, oh my God, this shows you how good the match was. I forgot about Spike, the baseball, the 2x4 with nails sticking out of it, right? Adam Copeland has been building this for 2 weeks now, and somehow this match was so entertaining and fun, I forgot that fucking thing was involved. But by the time he pulls it out, everybody's handcuffed to the ring posts, and he just went through destroying Christian's crotch. I've never seen anybody get kicked in the crotch this many times before. He's just kicking him in the crotch and kicking him in the crotch. But that isn't enough. He gets Spike and bam, right between the legs.
Number 2.
This match was great. Here are my favorite moments from this match. I love that Claudio went after Ospreay as soon as the bell rang. There were some great strikes early on in this match. Cool moment where Claudio threw Ospreay towards the barricade, and Ospreay just jumped over the barricade. Claudio caught Ospreay's attempt at a springboard dive to the outside. Claudio then slammed Ospreay on the damn apron. After Claudio took control for a while, Ospreay finally got back in the match, as he did so by doing some amazing athletic spots. Ospreay put Claudio in a sharpshooter, which Claudio got out of real quickly and put Ospreay in one of his own. Claudio went for a springboard uppercut, and Ospreay superkicked Claudio on his way down and then hit Claudio with the Tiger Driver for a great near fall. There was a great exchange where they hit each other with strikes and then got countered when they tried a different one. Claudio had a great counter to the Oz Cutter. He caught Ospreay and fucking slammed him onto the mat for a great near fall. Ospreay countered a lariat with a great Spanish fly. Claudio countered a hidden blade and hit a European uppercut on Ospreay. Insane stuff. Ospreay countered the giant swing. Ospreay hit Claudio with a Cancun tornado for another great near fall. Ospreay finally finished Claudio off with a brutal hidden blade. I love this match. I thought it was fantastic. It's especially more impressive when you realize that Ospreay and Danielson are going to put on a banger just a few days later at Dynasty. So amazing that they put this match on TV and went as far as they did. I kept thinking, like, to myself, Ospreay, he's not going to go all out here. He's going to soft pedal a little bit. But no, he did insane athletic spots. He was doing things we hadn't seen him do before. The counter from the giant swing, I knew some spot was going to happen with the giant swing where Ospreay was going to do something unique on that, and he didn't disappoint. Great match. This was a banger. Wasn't expecting anything less from these two, as both of them are amongst the best wrestlers in the world. It was a very well worked clash of styles, with Claudio using his strength to get the better of Ospreay, while Ospreay was able to outwork and counter the majority of Claudio's offense due to his athleticism. In particular, I love the DDT counter to the swing. That was amazing. Another great counter was Ospreay's super kick to counter a springboard by Claudio, followed by a tiger driver. However, the whole match was filled with many great exchanges and counters. The crowd was hot for this one, and the action, as you could guess, it was great. I just wish it could have been a bit longer, as these two had something left in their tanks. Hope to see a rematch down the line. And yeah, man, I could watch Ospreay feud with everybody on the roster. I think the roster of AEW is extremely stacked right now. Did you notice the cool storytelling moment where Ospreay was clearly upset that the Don Callis family was coming into the ring to beat up Claudio after the bell? These are the kind of moments that I really liked about AEW, where they do these little story moments where it's not this overdone thing, where it's like this 20-minute promo in the ring. I don't need the soap opera. I just need the good matches and these little moments in between. That's enough for me. Maybe I'm an idiot.
Number 1.
Welcome to Ospreyism, folks. What makes Will such a frustrating wrestler at times is because he seems to burn so much of what makes him so special in a matter of seconds. I get Will and Kyle are IRL friends, but man, he gave him so much in this match in a situation where it just didn't feel earned to me. The biggest problem with Ospreyism is just how he lays out his matches. There's a level of uncohesiveness. It may be unbelievably impressive, and it may get Will high marks from many, but it's not enough for my taste. A lot of people saying that this resembled the Takeshita match. Well, get ready to be saying that for the next few years. And man, it seems like a lot of people have a problem with these high-level, amazing wrestlers giving it their all every time they go out. It seems like they would almost prefer that they be less impressive than they are to... I don't know. I guess they feel like since they can't reach a higher level, which they all can. They all can. You think this was a good Ospreay match? I mean, this wasn't as good as the Takeshita match. The Takeshita match was way better than this. But he did what he does. He did all his shit. And that's what I think is great about it. I think it's great that these guys come out and do all their shit when they come out. They don't want to shortchange the audience. Everybody came to see Will Ospreay. So if he doesn't do his Oz cutters, if he doesn't do a Spanish fly, if he doesn't, do these poison ranas and things that he does so well, have you really seen a Will Ospreay match? Or is someone going to feel like they have been shorted? Now, a day will come when he doesn't do all of his shit in the ring. I'm certain of it. But for his first match on television, the first match that many people will have seen from Will Ospreay, very potentially, as a lot of eyes were on this episode of Dynamite for sure. Maybe people who didn't get to see the pay-per-view, maybe people who heard rumblings about there was this great match on the pay-per-view featuring Will Ospreay. Maybe they hadn't tuned in when he was on Dynamite previously. This might have been it. So yeah, I think he went all out here. I think it was awesome. I think the spots are really cool. The Poison Rana into the Hidden Blade. Now, that might have ended the match. For a lot of people, that might have been the spot that should have ended the match. And for me, I thought, that's it. Poison Rana into Hidden Blade. Kyle Fletcher looked dead. He kicked out. Yes, this makes Kyle look extremely strong, right? In the end, Kyle goes down. Okay? He doesn't win. And he keeps his belt. And I think that's weird too. Like, I honestly think that they should have taken this a level higher and put the belt on Ospreay day one. I think that would have been a hell of a statement. And he's done it before. It would call back to what he did in Ring of Honor. I believe his first match in Ring of Honor, or I don't know, very soon into Ring of Honor, first or second match, he won like the Ring of Honor. God, it might have even been the TV belt. It was like, it was one of their lower belts. It wasn't like the main belt. It might have been, I don't know. Look it up, guys. That would have been a really intense statement of what we're entering into is, you know, the era of Ospreay, and that's what it's going to be. This guy's going to be the face of the company. This is exactly what I want to watch on television. Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher gave a pay-per-view match on Dynamite. This harkens back to the old days where Kenny Omega would put on pay-per-view matches on the regular on Dynamite. The roster is so good now. It is no longer acceptable to be good. You need to be great. And Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher were great. The near falls, the moves, it was all kind of amazing Wrestle Kingdom style match that I most enjoy watching. Perhaps others don't care for this style as a match, but this is my jam. And yeah, it's my jam too. Like, this is why I'm into All Elite Wrestling. Quite honestly, this is it. I heard that this amazing stuff was going down in Japan. I watched Okada versus Omega. I watched all three Okada versus Omega, and I said, oh my God, that's happening in America? How is it possible that this is happening in Japan? These matches that are not only spectacles, not only amazing spot fest, but also deeply emotionally impactful. It does raise the bar. It is not good enough to be good anymore. You need to be great, but that's why this is All Elite Wrestling. And some of those guys that you like that don't have these like high ring skills, it's going to be hard for them to get time on the air. This is one of the very best TV matches. Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher, best friends, both know each other inside and out. They put on an absolute show that you could stick on any Wrestle Kingdom show. Ospreay did his best to make Kyle come out of this looking like an absolute star, and he succeeded. Will, maybe a bit to his discredit, played all of his hits, which I guess as he gets more accustomed to TV wrestling, he'll realize he doesn't need to do that always. However, the near falls were great. Kyle countered a lot of Will's stuff, forcing him to find different answers, and the finish of the match was perfect. That's one of the cool things about this match, were all the counters. All the counters and the counters to the counters and the counters of the counters. Like, it was really, really cool to see this match. And yeah, Will Ospreay definitely, all the big guns, all the poison ranas, all the Spanish flies, everything that Will Ospreay could do, he was putting it on this match. And yeah, absolutely. Would I expect to see that every time he comes out? Probably not. Is it really cool that if he can keep it up? Yeah, keep it up. But I'm a big fan of the way AEW books stuff as far as, let's just do it now. Like, I feel like they are the let's just do it now company. WWE feels like, let's build this for 6 years and then maybe not even do the match. And I hate that. I absolutely hate that, because in wrestling, you never know when someone's going to get injured, retired, fired, blow out, have a problem, not be able to make it up to the match, not be able to finish the angle. It's crazy how many times that happens. So it's cool. Just do all the matches. Have Ospreay go through the entire roster right now while he's active, while he's healthy, because you never know what's going to happen in professional wrestling or anywhere. So let's live for the now. Let's put pay-per-view matches on TV. Let's have a good time. Let's sell out arenas. I'm not worried about AEW not being able to top itself. When the fuck hasn't AEW been able to top itself? When it comes to the pay-per-view, it's always a bigger show than Dynamite, and Dynamite is always bigger right after the pay-per-view. And they just keep escalating. And there's no fucking problem with it, because we haven't hit a ceiling. There's no goddamn ceiling to hit, guys. It's All Elite Wrestling, and everybody's fucking amazing. I gotta give this one a 6. Man, you could go to a 7, or you could even go down to a 5. Look, the match honestly had a very slow start. If you watch the match again, you're gonna notice that it starts off pretty slow. There's a lot of chops. There's a lot of resting. But then in the back half of this thing, it takes off, and it's got all gas, no brakes, right? The last half of this is pay-per-view quality for sure. So we are definitely above a 5. We are into 6 territory. Do we hit a 7? No, I don't think there's any. I mean, and everyone's talking about how much Will Ospreay does here, and that it's too much or any of that kind of shit. It's like, guys, you haven't even begun to scratch the surface of Will Ospreay. If you've really done your homework and you've really watched all of Ospreay's matches, then you know that he has more to offer still. These were his like signature spots. He did all of his signature spots, but that doesn't mean he doesn't have more to give than that. So I don't know. I think this is going to be an awesome era of AEW. This episode really got me excited for what comes next with this stacked roster. We are entering an era of the best roster that AEW has ever had. And AEW has consistently had the best roster every single year that it's been in existence. So the fact that we're still topping that is goddamn absurd. So I'm really looking forward to that and seeing what they do with all of these amazing players that they have on the show. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I got a lot of other videos on this channel, so make sure you check them out. We got reviews of the pay-per-view if you missed that. We got reviews of last year. We're going to be putting out some really good top 10 lists of stuff that's happened in the last couple of months. So make sure you check that out. And grave diggers, keep digging.
Stop what you're doing, baby, and follow Mr. Hargrave from parts unknown, if you will, baby.
I've seen the demon's face.
Mark joined one half of private party, say what up to the grave diggers, and keep doing your thing.
On my knees in praise of the horrible things that took her away.
Watch another video or be cursed.